What would you be willing to do for the people you love? Would you take a bullet for them? Would you be willing to lay down your life, make the ultimate and supreme sacrifice for the people that you love and cherish in this world? Yeah, I know you would. But are you willing to do the inner work? Are you willing to learn to regulate your nervous system so you can catch yourself when you're triggered and instead pause and take a deep breath before you lose your temper and start yelling? I'm Ed Hegan, a former New York City firefighter, and I'm a meditation mindfulness coach. And I teach people to deal with stress and find inner peace by understanding their emotions and learning to regulate their nervous system. And today's meditation is about recognizing your triggers. A lot of us can work in really stressful jobs. Some people that have done tours in the military, law enforcement, fire rescue personnel, or other stressful jobs can really experience this buildup of cumulative stress over years and decades of subjecting themselves to dangerous environments, to sleep deprivation, to toxic situations. And we can oftentimes get caught up in these states of fight or flight or hypervigilance. And we can find ourselves stuck in response mode, being really like heightened. Our nervous system is really on edge and feeling like we're on the edge of burnout. And this is really natural and normal because if part of your work requires you to take on an extraordinary amount of stress and trauma, there's a very good chance that if you haven't been taught how to properly release and let go of that stress and trauma, you may be carrying that around. And if you find yourself stuck in response mode, you could find yourself being easily triggered. And what happens is, after time, as that stress builds up and becomes so uncomfortable, we look to relieve that stress. And it can manifest itself in many unhealthy ways by using drugs, alcohol, food, or other unhealthy habits and addictions to try to soothe and relieve ourselves of these stressful feelings. And so addiction can really cause a lot more pain and suffering if we're not dealing with the issues of the stress in our lives. And sometimes people are wondering if they can ever change this or if they are just going to be stuck in this response mode or in this state of fight or flight forever. But we can absolutely change this. Just like we've trained our brains, our bodies, and our nervous systems to be upregulated and to be ready to go in response mode to do our jobs effectively, we can also retrain and recondition our brains, our body, and our nervous system so that instead of reacting, we can choose a calm, grounded, and healthy response instead. And think of it as a gym for your mind. Just like you would go to the gym to train a part of your body to make it stronger, more flexible, build stamina, we can train our brains, our bodies, and our nervous systems to be more relaxed, at peace, and grounded. And by learning to regulate our nervous system, it's really one of the most beautiful gifts that we can give to our loved ones. Our children are watching us, and so we can set an example for them. You know, they're small and young and innocent, and we want to try to protect that. And we want to make them feel safe, secure, relaxed, and at ease. And so if we come home and we're triggered and on edge and irritable, they're not going to feel really comfortable. And they're going to notice that. They're going to notice that you're not feeling great. They're going to notice you're stressed out. They're going to notice you're on edge. So by doing the work necessary and practicing the self-care necessary to ground ourselves, to relax ourselves, and to relieve our stress in a healthy way, it's a beautiful gift that we give to our children. We can choose to pause and notice when we find ourselves reacting in a negative way. We can choose to take a deep breath instead of raising our voice and yelling. We can choose to regulate our emotions and our bodies by taking a deep breath instead of reacting negatively. We can choose patience over frustration. And if we really want to have a positive impact and influence over our children's health and well-being, one of the best things we could do is set an example for them. In our ability to regulate our own nervous system, we can be a model and an example for them about how they can pause and take a breath. And so it's good for us to kind of notice this in our own body. How do we react when we're stressed out? So instead of directing our attention outside if we feel triggered or stressed, Someone might say something, or somebody called us, or we receive a text message, or we find out some news, or something, we feel reactive. We can either choose to go into the story and the cerebral parts of our brain that are telling ourselves a story and the emotions that are building up and causing us to react physiologically. We can notice our breath becomes shallow, and maybe we become a little bit more charged. The stress hormones of adrenaline and cortisol build up in our body. And if we notice ourselves in this state, when we notice ourselves getting triggered, this is the key moment for us to pause. Notice what's going on in our bodies. Notice that our breath is getting shallow. Notice that we're feeling charged. Notice that we're feeling adrenaline. Notice that we're feeling amped up. What is happening in our bodies? And in that moment, we can stop. We can ask ourselves what we're feeling, where we're feeling it. Okay, I got that message. Okay, that person said something. Okay, I got that news. I'm feeling really angry. I'm feeling insulted. I'm feeling slighted. I'm feeling annoyed. I'm feeling injustice. Something unfair happened. Notice the feeling. Notice the feeling below the story. Notice where the feeling is in your body. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a powerful breath through the nose, nice and slowly. The first breath is going to fill the belly, meaning we're going to pull the belly button away from the spine and make ourselves a little Buddha belly. And the second part of the breath is going to fill the lungs. So if we want to practice this, we can simply notice what's happening in our body. Breathe deeply in through the nose, fill the belly, fill the chest. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release. Inhale through the nose, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1, release. One more. Breathe in slowly through the nose, fill the belly. Fill the chest. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. And sometimes just recognizing when we're triggered, when we're activated, and having the tool of using our diaphragm, breathing into the belly, secondary breath into the chest, holding it for a few seconds, we can actually trick the body into being into the parasympathetic mode, which is more the rest and digest and the relaxation state. And so we can literally use the power of our breath to switch our body from being in a state of stress into a state of relaxation. And just give yourself some tenderness. Learn to develop the skills of recognizing when you're triggered. Recognize when you're in an activated state of response mode. Recognize when your body physiologically is going into a state of stress. And choose to physiologically control your breath and bring yourself back into balance, back into power, back into grounded, peaceful, and calm. And you don't have to be perfect at this. If you do get stressed out and you notice it, and you pause and take that deep breath, the people around you are going to notice that you're staying calm and relaxed. They're going to feel more at ease and more relaxed around you. It's going to affect the way you feel personally. It's going to affect the way that you interact with people personally. And it's going to affect how you do your job professionally. How you show up in this world in general is going to be greatly affected by the level of self-care that you're practicing. So notice when you're triggered. And again, remember, this is a practice. Just like in the gym, we don't get healthy overnight. It takes weeks, months, sometimes years of the cumulative effect of stress to diminish and for us to retrain our brains, our bodies, and our nervous systems to react to stress in a healthier way. So practice the breathing, practice noticing when you're triggered, but also practice patience, compassion, and kindness toward yourself. And as you practice patience, compassion, kindness, understanding, and forgiveness for yourself, you can release and let go of some of the stress you've been carrying for years, maybe decades. And when you can find some compassion and kindness and peace for yourself, you can share that with everybody else in your life. So remember, recognize, have compassion, breathe deeply, let it go, and thank you for the years of dedicated service of working hard to be a good person, to be a good parent, to be a good brother, sister, to be a good friend, and for all the work that you do and the stress that accumulates in your life. Just remember to be kind and compassionate with yourself. Breathe deeply and let it go.